Good day to you all. This is Mr. Gale coming at you with a Dueling Network video, and in this video I will be looking at my duel that I did not so long ago with a pretty big noob, shall I say. So I'm using my new Raccoon deck, and I've drawn into not that good of a hand, honestly, with a bunch of staples. And as soon as I got on, I saw his picture. Now, anyone with Yugi as a picture is either a massive noob or really good, because, like, you know, yeah. And I was still trying to figure that out, but once I saw that he had a 52 card deck, I started to have my doubts that he was good. So he normal summons Superheavy Samurai Soulfire Suit. Now I wouldn't, and then he special summons this, the Soul Great Wall, and I was a little confused. So I was reading the card's effect, and I couldn't find anything that said you could special summon it. And then the fact that he's just normal summon this 800 attacker, where it has no effect upon normal summoning, and then he changes it to defense. So at this point I knew he was a noob, because, and plus, yeah, so I was just like, how'd you special Great Wall? Now these guys have effects, right? The main monsters, the main Superheavy Samurai monsters gain defense, because they attack with it while they're in defense mode. So of course I'm not accepting my turn, and I'm just waiting for him to spawn, and he doesn't think that there's anything wrong with what he's done, so he's just waiting for ages. He said that he's clicked the wrong button, and then at this point I was really confused, because what button would he be clicking in that? Like, I just said, how's it on the field? And for a second I thought that he would have equipped it to that Soulfire Wall, but then there wouldn't even be a point, because that's an you equip that to a Superheavy Samurai monster as well. So I was just waiting for him to respond. So he sends it to the graveyard, and he was like, what? And he just said, oh, be done. And I said, put it back to your hand, because there's no reason for him to send it to the graveyard. And then he just draws. Just, no. Don't even. He draws and then sets in his end phase. And then, yeah, so he adds it back to his hand. And then he's just done so many things wrong. Can't even keep up with it. So I said Soulfire Suit should be an attack, not defense, because when you normal summon it, then it's obviously in attack. And then, yeah, so I tell him to put his card back, and then he admits that he doesn't actually admit, he just puts it back. And then I just couldn't contain how much of a noob this guy was, so I just went on the public chat, like you do, and I'm just like, this guy I'm against is such a noob. And of course he still hasn't, and then he says, let's start from the start. Just like, what? Just fix what you did wrong. So I was just like, what? And then, oh, this guy is just really frustrating. And he doesn't even shuffle, I don't think. No, he doesn't. So I didn't even pick up on that, because I was too overwhelmed with, like, all this other stuff. So he decides not to summon. So I draw into the obedience skill, which I think is pretty lucky, because I had a handful of things. So I'm testing out the new mystical beast of the forest, Valerie Fawn, and that's basically like Illumina, but for raccoons. And it's a tuner, so you can make like 5, 6, 7, most of the synchro. So I go ahead and summon Kitten Kalantosa and Tantan. For this combo you need to special summon a Kalantosa and any other monsters. So I overlaid for my level 2, which I should, yeah, so I just checked if my Noob thing had any responses, so I went and overlaid for I was just checking if I could synchro for anything better, but no, okay, so for the Sunday, and then with this you have to detach Kalantosa to special summon the token, and in this case it's got 1000 attack. So then you go and normal summon Valerie form. Now I was debating which card to discard, and I decided Burst Rebirth because I didn't really have much use for it at the moment. So I special summoned Kalantosa in attack mode because Valerie form's effect only lets me do it in face up attack or face down defense, which you can use for Tantan's effect to flip it back up and stuff, yeah. So I tell him to, so this part I tell him to pop back row because of Kalantosa's effect. And he's just going, like, he's either a really slow typer or just terrible at Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm guessing both, but God, it's just, okay, so I'm just waiting for him to realize what's going on, and then he's just like, which one? And at this point I knew that he was just, this guy was gonna be trouble. I was just, and then he just destroys Floppy Kid. He could have chained that easily. He could have chained that, so I couldn't have done any damage to him. And then he probably had some strategy based on whatever card he had set now, which is yeah, you'll see. So at this point now, I'm deciding whether to go into. I'm about to go into my level 5 synchro, sorry, because Valerie forms a tuner, so I'm just seeing which one I should go for. I'm debating whether to go for a 5 or a 7 because of Kalantosa. So I sync Token, which is level 1, and Valerie Fawn and Tantan. And he's just, yeah, this guy is so impatient, he's just like, done yet. And I just couldn't be bothered responding to that, because just, so I set my cards, which are currently protection, just in case he summons anything. So then I'm just like, no, I'll just attack with Kalantosa just in case something. And then he chains Magic Cylinder. And that is a complete waste of that card. So I'm just like, wow, okay then. Because this guy does not know how to play. So I take the 200 damage. He should have used that when Amadi's attacked. Because, yeah, obviously it's the highest attack. And no, he'd go there and use and I was like, oh, are you new by any chance? Yes. Of course you are. That's a stupid question. If he was experienced, I'd be very worried. But no, okay. And then he says my friend is a pro. So at this point I get that, like, he's learning from his friend or whatever. And either his friend is actually a pro, or he's a pro in his eyes, which could really be anyone. And, yeah, so I attack with Sunday. Only 1,000, but still worth it, as you know. And he's not taking the damage, so I just said take the damage. So I attack. And then, yeah, then he says how. So clearly this is like the guy's first game or something. And I'm just like, you go into the life points bar, life points thingy, and type in 1,000 and then push enter. So clearly this guy has no idea what he's doing. And he hasn't even summoned a monster yet. And yeah, he takes his life points like a good point, and then yeah, I put into the chat, of course, as you do. And so then I attack with Armades. He has no defenses, so I'm not worried at all unless he has like a battle fader or something. And then I didn't actually know whether he saw the thing I put in the public chat, because now he says, now I know, so it was a bit, yeah. And he's still not taking the damage, so I attack him with Armades, and then, yeah, he finally takes it after ages, but he only takes 1-5, and I didn't actually notice that until later, because I was so distracted with, like, everything else that he was doing. So he sets 1, and if you've ever dueled a noob, you'll know what I'm going through at the moment. Oh, and he only has 5 in his extra deck. I mean, I don't even know what he's summoned. He's probably got like Utopia or something, I don't know. So then he summons Great Wall, and then I didn't actually activate anything yet, and then he makes the same mistake and changes it to defense. And I said no. And then he thinks that I'm talking about the life point that he didn't take away. And he must have known that he'd only taken away 1-5, because otherwise he wouldn't think that I was referring to that. So either this guy's a cheater, or he's just like, he's terrible at maths. And yeah, and then he ends his turn at that, and I said, yeah, I was actually typing too fast to do the full face. I don't know whether that adds to the effect or something, but I don't know. So I said, when you normal summon, it stays in attack, as I mentioned before, and I don't think the point's getting across to him. So then, yeah, he puts it in attack like he should. And then I draw into Poco, which I reckon is a pretty good draw, so I normal summon it, and then activate its effect to special summon Tan in face down defense. Yeah, level 2 beast type. And then, yeah, I reckon Tan's effect was actually meant to special summon Poco, and then you were to overlay for Sunday. But yeah, so I'm glad they put Mystical Beast in the forest. And yeah, so he just shuffled randomly. And then I'm like, oh, I didn't really care about that, because I don't know, I was going to beat him anyway. So I get him in a lock with my 2 Sundays, because they can't be destroyed by battle or by card effect when you control another beast type, so I put him in a lock. And then I special summon the token with 2,300 attack, because Armades has a nice attack. And he's just viewing his extra deck, not even paying attention to what I'm doing. So I attack the Celebrate Wall, not bothering to compose, because I was going to beat him anyway. And then he quits. So yeah, that's basically the end. So yeah, that's the end of part 1, and I will see you guys next time in part 2.